This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So last session, we were discussing about the Terraform related setup, right? So for our application, and we'll just continue the same thing. All right. So let me go to the Azure DevOps, dev.azure.com. And so pipelines, releases. So probably infra dev create. So yesterday the AMI was created. Okay, so the user AMI created release. Yeah, we found out one problem. So what is the problem is if you are making one AMI, other AMI is not gonna work. Okay, so we need to correct that particular process. So the only way how can you correct that particular process is, so let me show you. Let me open the editor. So the way you can correct is by so every AMI is actually going to the same every AMI is actually going to the same what we call every AMI is actually going to is using the same state file, and rather than that I'll put a multiple state files. That's it, nothing more than that. Okay, let me open the editor. Just some patches going on of IntelliJ. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, if you look into the Terraform AMI, so everything is actually using the same state file. Rather than using the same state file, I will make it a separate state file. That's it, nothing more than that. Okay, so yeah, if I do that, then it will work. That's it, nothing more than that. Okay, but how do I do that? Okay, how I can make my approach basically? So that's okay, so that's an interesting thing. And how do I make it basically? So how do I make it is so with the help of makefile I can make it. So I can make file so Terraform init hyphen this one. So what I'm going to do is in the state file I'm going to comment out this one. Okay, and in the make file, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say that hyphen back hyphen backend hyphen config is equal to key is equal to, so where is my key? Key, right? So key is this one, and I'll say that key is equal to this one. All right, so key is equal to AMI slash, so probably like so $component and Terraform state file. All right, and then or first of all I want to test this first of all, so whether my this one works or not. I will just say this, and I'll say echo dollar component, whether it works or not. First of all, I want to be sure that this is working or not working. So I can just go to my workstation quickly, which is already turned on. I can just go this and this. So echo is actually coming as empty, if you see this, because the variable is also not there. Export component is equal to export component is equal to, like, let's say front end. And if I say that make init, now you're getting front end, right? So it's taking that particular one. So now what I wanted to do is I will go to the pipelines and validate, so how AMI is really happening with the which value. So just go there and click on task, and you go there environment variables. So tf underscore var underscore component. So this is the value it is actually taking it up. Okay. So now rather than this, I will say that. Okay. Now hyphen backend hyphen config is equal to is equal to key is equal to dollar this one in the braces slash AMI slash Terraform dot df state file. Okay, and hyphen back and hyphen config is equal to, see, rather than from the file, so now I'm putting it this one from this. Okay, and you go here, put it here. So backend hyphen config bucket is equal to this one. Okay, and again hyphen backend hyphen config is equal to region is equal to US hyphen east hyphen one, and hyphen backend hyphen config is equal to, what is the last one? So this DynamoDB table is equal to Terraform. Okay, so from the file previously you're giving, you just commented it out and you're passing all those values from the command line. All right, and you're just parameterizing it. That's it. So now every so every AMI is going to use a separate configuration, and it just works as expected. Okay, so there is no conflict now. There's no conflict now. That's it. And even okay, that's fine. So this is okay. Now the user is happening, and now I will just go with let me show you user AMI is happened, and the cart AMI has happened, catalog is also happened, and I'll just say that, so let's go with clone of this one, and I will say that it is shipping. All right, and I'll just say here shipping. Okay, so save and click on create a release, and I don't want this, create. Okay, and there is some other challenges comes into picture. We'll talk about that. Okay, but for now let it be. So here it is, shipping, right? So now clone this to another one, so which is payment. Payment, this one, payment. Okay, so now shipping is already in progress, so no issues. It's already no. Oh, at least I should be specifying Terraform backend is not local. I should specify Terraform backend is S3. A minimal configuration is needed. You don't require to specify all this. So shipping is going on, but the payment will go into a failure. I'm expecting no, but it should go into failure unless I give a random name. Okay, let me check it out. So here, where.component I'm giving. Okay, then it will not fail. No issues. I think all cool. So now your parallel AMI is happening. If you see there, if you just go into instances also, you will see parallel AMIs. Okay, is going on. Payment AMI is going on. Shipping AMI is also going on. All right, that's fine. Now come back. Let's go to the releases, and we ask for dev infra create. So front end is created and ALB is created, and front end instance is already running. So, but you see this here, the front end instance is actually already launched, but actually it's not having any tag. So I want to have some tags here so that I will okay, so what I was thinking, yeah, so here I need a tag, okay, because more instances I launch, so then it's going to a kind of a failure. Okay, so yeah, now how do I do this? And so how do I do this is in the configuration of ASG. So in the ASG, okay, so you're actually making an auto-scaling group. Okay, so here you need to specify some tags basically. Okay, let's find out the options around this particular resource of Terraform. So tags, how is there any way so that I can specify the tags, to the instances as well? Okay, what is this propagated launch? There is something called as propagated launch, and what is this propagated launch? Let's go and verify a little bit in the documentation. So like let's say propagated launch at, underscore launch. Yeah, so what is this propagate and launch? It is telling is this key value enables propagation of the tag to EC2 instances launched via ASG. See, when you give a tags, so what is this? This auto scaling group is also a resource, right? Auto scaling group is also a resource. It can have also the tags basically. Okay, so you see this, it also has some tag section. Yeah, okay, it also has some tag section, so to maintain this particular resource. But this launches an EC2 instances, right? So to those instances also you want to get the tag, so then you have to specify, so tag new instance or you don't tag instances. Okay, this is the option you are getting it here. So if you choose this particular option, then yes, it is going to come up. Okay, now I just need to update my tag section. So how do I do that is propagate at launch, right? So tag section is equal to name and value is equal to dollar var dot component hyphen dollar var dot env. Okay. Okay, so this is fine, and this is okay. So you're going to get some tag. All right, so this is what the change I would like to push it. So let me create a release once again. So here, actually I changed the name. This bar actually to ASG because bar looks little weird. So it's actually destroying it. And it might not happen. Okay, it's happening. All right. Okay, it's waiting for ALB to training. Yeah. I would have left it as is. Yeah, it's cleaned, and now Terraform apply. It's actually all right. So now I'll click on once again. Yeah. So it it should be launching a new instance, and once after you get the new instance, you're getting it from as a tag as well. Okay, so this is what we're expecting, and which is fine. And now what we're going to do here is we will try to go with the remaining components. Okay, so I think the AMIs are all AMIs are also ready. So now I'll go to releases, and so front end is done. It is going to ALB, and so now the remaining components, like so the payment, um, you know I think yesterday we made a catalog one, right? So catalog also will run it. st.df, I think all good. Yesterday we were talking about how do we make some DNS record, basically, isn't it? how can we make some DNS record for catalog-dev.dev, whatever you have the DNS record. So let's go to the Route 53. I'll go to the Route 53 service. In the Route 53, so we have a domain already, isn't it? Okay, so this is the domain, and I want to, so deal with this particular domain, or I want to create a record over here, and I'll point to that same DNS server. Okay, how do I do that? All right, so let's see. So there are some unnecessary records. I will just delete them. Okay, it's a fresh one. All right, now what I'm going to do here is I'll just need to create a DNS record. And how do I create a DNS record is after ASG creation is done. So we're actually creating a rule in the load balancer as well. So let me put it proper. Okay, now after this, I wanted to do was okay. So I want to create resource. A resource of what? Resource of AWS underscore route 53 underscore record Terraform. I want to create a route 53 record. Okay, so this is a route 53 record, and so let me see what are the options you have. So this is the route 53 record. LB, and over here you need to provide the zone ID. Okay, so you need to provide the zone ID, and you want to hard code it, you can hard code it, or else so you want to set it as a variable. For dev you have a different zone ID, and for prod you want to have a different zone ID, you can do that. So how do you get the zone ID? So here is the hosted zone details, and so here is the zone ID. All right, so this is the zone ID. If you don't want to hard code it, you parameterize that. Okay, for prod you have a different zone ID, and for so dev you have a different zone ID kind of thing, you can parameterize that. Okay, now here the name of the record basically, so it's actually going to be is a dollar var dot component hyphen dollar so var dot dev and dot var dot env, sorry, dot DevOps b53.tk. That's a domain, right? So it's actually a CNAME record, and actually the weight is TTL is 300 is okay, and it's looking for the IP address basically, or the name basically. And how do I get this particular name? So the name actually will be getting it from ALB. So you create an ALB here, and you get the information from here. So private ALB, you are getting it here, and it needs to send some information. Private load balancer ARN. Now also not only the ARN, I am looking now gonna look for underscore DNS. Private ALB, private ALB. Okay, private ALB listener or private ALB DNS. Private ALB DNS, and then AWS underscore LB dot private dot DNS underscore name. Okay, I'm looking for this. And how do I get that here? So here you're going to get data dot this one dot LB dot outputs dot this one. Okay, so you're going to take that particular record and put it over here. All right, so let's go and see that how it works. And in order to make it work, we need to deploy the LB once again. Where is the LB? we require an output. So you got the DNS name. So this is the DNS name. Cool. And I'll just go and say that now I'll go and run my catalog. So AMI is not needed. I'll just go to the dev, create it, and deploy it. If the catalog is fine, so we'll replicate the remaining the same thing to the other services as well. Cool. So now if I just come here and try to refresh, so you should see catalog-dev, and at the same time, route 53, try to refresh. So you will get a new CNAME record, catalog-dev.devos53.tk. All right. So I'm pointing to the same DNS record and pointing to the same DNS name. And this DNS name is the load balancer. And if you go into the load balancer, and in the load balancer, you're telling that if any request is actually coming, with catalog-dev.devos53.tk, so you forward it to catalog. Okay. Now who sends this request? My front end is going to send this request. Now your front end configuration previously was something like this, right? So you will just go to the RoboShop and then go to the components and you go to the front end.sh, and so your front end content is actually going to be search for catalog and replace it with so something like so test you're making it. Okay. So it's no more test basically, so we need to parameterize that, and so for now I'll just make it as dev, 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 dev. Okay, but this is also not a great idea. So we have to parameterize this as per the environment, which with the shell scripting is going to be a kind of a bit tricky part. So we will later go with Ansible anyhow. So with Ansible we'll try to achieve it in a much better way. Okay. But for now, that is what we have. And so in order to make the changes, basically, you don't require a front-end AMI. So I will just deregister the AMI. Okay. And I'll go to this here. So front end, create a release and let it create a new AMI, and the new AMI is actually going to update the configuration of update the configuration of the local host. Okay, so And also, this is completely not as expected. It will not work as expected. I think this is the worst thing even I'm doing it, but let it be, let it run for now. So we'll do certain manual things. I'll show you what is the problem later, but for now, so I think the things are smoother. So we'll go with the other components. So I'll just go for create a new repository, and which is going to be is a Terraform hyphen user component. Okay, so and then new repository, so which is going to be is a Terraform hyphen card component. Okay, and a Terraform new repository, so Terraform hyphen user, Terraform hyphen cart, Terraform catalog is done, so which is shipping. And so the next one, funnel one is Terraform hyphen payment. Okay, all right, so let's set it up one by one. So payment, shipping, cart, user. Okay, all elements came by, and here it is. Now all these things should be as similar to your catalog, and I'll just copy from the catalog now. So I copy it from catalog, and that goes into, like, let's say cart guide. So buttons, certain things need to be taken care. So here it is, a cart is cart, and prod also it is cart, and env dev.tfs, and it's actually going to be cart. All right, and ASG, you're going to send this the same one, var.component, var.instance type, this one, all same. Okay, and here actually you're hard coding the value $var.component. Okay, so even in the catalog also, I would like to share it as $var.component. Okay, and all good. That's it. Okay, so my cart is done. So I'll just go and run my cart. Releases, and I'll go to the cart one, click on edit, and so here add Azure repos. This is a cart one. I'm just selecting the source where my source should run. All right, or where should I get the source to run? Just add. You go inside this, go here, you just put it like cart save. Is not needed. Let's go with dev. Okay, cut part is going on, and what next? User. Most of the code is also same here, right? So yeah, but still somewhere you have to pass the values, so that's okay. And there it is. And here it is gonna be user. It's gonna be a user. All right. And what next? It's gonna be user. ASG, nothing to modify here. Data.tf make file outputs. Provider, nothing. All right. So done. Okay. Okay, cool. And so shipping part is also done. And what next? Payment. So if I put in payment also. Cool. So now my cart is done. So I'll just go and verify my cart now. So instances, I should see a cart instance. So cart instance is coming up, fine. And also if I go into the Route 53 record, so cart also should come with the same DNS name. All right, perfect. Okay, cart is also done. So now I'll just go with the user one and edit. So add the source code of the user Terraform. So to the pipeline D53, and I'll say that the rs hyphen this is user, right? Yeah, user, and the branch is the main branch. Okay, and just click on add it. Okay, and I should be going here and running this inside user directory. Create release, we don't want AMI, and deploy for this. User is going on the same way. Let's go with the shipping and click on edit. So add the source of shipping Terraform code. Okay, done.
For US, you have used for users, you have used RSF and users, the repo instead of
Oh, really?
Terraform. Yeah.
Then it will fail. Yeah, we'll see. So then there is shipping directory for user. All right. Yeah, it failed. So then in that case, yes, perfect. You're right. So add three Terraform hyphen user. Okay, this is going on. How about shipping? Shipping is also should be going on. Cool. And finally the payment one. So let's go to the payment. So edit. Choose the payment one, and I'll be going to this. So shipping and other parts are done. So if I just come here, try to refresh, so this is fine. And if you come to the management console, so probably if you just try to refresh, you'll be having a new front end. This is a front end instance. I will say that, so here, and I will just try to log in from this server. Root at the rate this one. Okay, so ls so vi/etc nginx and then nginx, not nginx, I think it's actually default.d, and then roboshop.conf file. So over here it's actually putting as /dev and :s. So search for test and replace it with the dev environment. Okay, enter, done. And also colon, now you try to understand. So previously you're directly hitting a single server, isn't it? Previously you're hitting a directly a single server, so that's where you're hitting the direct port. Now you're not actually on the single server, so now you're actually on the multiple servers, and those particular servers are being load balanced, and it's actually so available over the load balancer. You're hitting the load balancer now. Now the load balancer port is always 80 port. Okay, so the port over here is not 80 here anymore. Okay, so colon %ls and search for colon 8080 and replace it with nothing. Okay, so you give that much is fine. Okay, so this is what the enhancement we have to make it through the configuration of our front end. Okay, so that's fine. And then systemctl restart nginx. Cool, it worked fine. And I think all the components should be ready here. So payment is there, front end, card catalog, so this one is all 6 services are there. Okay, and so now so in order to make it work, basically we do require the databases. Okay, so the databases. Okay, so how do you want me to make the databases is, I will just take one server manually. I'll not go with the Terraform automation for time being. Why? Because there is some challenges which we better address through a better configuration management tool. So as of now, this space is working fine. So we all launched with Terraform, and so it's working fine as expected. But the databases I want to do it quite a little bit manual, and then I'll fix the things. Okay, so here how do I do that is, let me show you. So here I will just take one server manually, so launch instance. I'll take a bit bigger instance only, T3 medium, and the configure instance. Even I'll go for spot for that, and I'll just say that so I want to launch it in a new VPC, so which is this VPC, and the preference is any private subnet is fine. Okay, and yeah, this is okay. add storage, and add tags, some name. So let's configure security group. So all TCP anywhere. So, see, my point over here is I want to ensure that this piece of configuration is working fine. In order to validate this configuration, so I need the databases. Okay, I'm just putting the databases for now. So because the shell scripting handling the things is much tricky and not a good way. So because we have another tool, Ansible, so we want to implement more of Ansible rather than this. So that's the reason I'm holding it for now, and I'm breaking the automation with the Terraform of these particular components, and I will just go ahead and so create them manually in the sense still we have shell scripting. We'll just put those things, and we will um, and we'll okay, test our configuration so far. Whatever we have made is really working or not. Okay, so for that, so let me just go to the databases. All databases are going to sit in one server only. That's what I'm making. Still server is coming up. Cool. And now over here, so where is my this one repos shell scripting clone this one sudo yum so make space so Mongo, just gonna set up the Mongo. So make space MySQL. Okay, so cool. And then RabbitMQ. Finally, Redis one. Okay, cool. So now, no, so all the services should be reaching to here. So, but for now, I'll just start with the catalog. So catalog requires MongoDB. So I will just go there and the cat slash etc so cat slash etc system d and then system slash so catalog dot service. Okay, so here you are giving mongo hyphen test actually. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just go and go to the Route 53 record and create a record set, and I will say that so simple routing. It's actually going to be mongo hyphen test, right? So mongo hyphen test, mongo hyphen test, and the record is the databases IP address. Okay, so you give this, and so add another record, add another record, add another record. So this is mongo hyphen test. It's actually going to be mysql hyphen test. Okay, put this, and which is rabbitmq hyphen test. It actually has to be hyphen dev, but yeah, so environment dealing, again I have to go to each and every server and update either the AMI or I have to update it manually. I don't want to waste the time there, so for time being I'll just use the test only. Okay, so create records. Come on. Mongo hyphen test is the one. Okay, so just for time being, so now so systemctl restart catalog, so tail hyphen f slash var log messages. So now you can see this it is still connecting the MongoDB connection error. All right, so why? I think the DNS record is not really ready. Okay, so yeah, you see that the DNS record is still not ready, so we just need to wait for the DNS record to sync onto the servers. Okay, so I don't want to waste even the time. I'll just update the local records just for timing, so the DNS records will take time. So echo, and I will just use this IP address space this one slash tc host file. Okay, so tail hyphen f slash var log messages. Just for time being, it's MongoDB is connected. Okay, until the DNS comes up, this is the fix I just made it, and I'll just go to the next server, so which is I want to test my whole configuration, so I'm not bothering about the manual changes for now. I just want to check all the things are working or not. So the next one is the user service will go there, and here it is, and SSH this one, and the user service depends upon either both the MongoDB and also it depends upon Redis. systemctl restart restart user tail hyphen f var log messages. So Redis connected, MongoDB connected. Okay, this is also fine. I was the next server, so I'll go to the cart one. So cart actually deals with SSH. So card deals with only Redis, so that's where I'll just update this, and systemctl restart cart and then tail -f where log messages. So Redis is ready. All right, and I'll just the same way I'll go to the shipping. So shipping there it is, and so VIM, sorry, SSH this one. So VIM/etc systemd and then system and then shipping.service file. So actually it's going to connect to cart-test. I will just say that it should connect to cart-dev. All right, and cart-dev and is also going to be not 8080 port anymore. It's actually going to be 80 port. Okay, that's it. All right, so here it requires MySQL, and so here a lot of manual work is there. Okay, so because so we didn't so complete, or we had to enhance our scripts a little bit more. We had to enhance our script a bit more, or we come up with a proper proper approach of automation. So it is MySQL. All right, done. And then systemctl restart systemctl restart systemctl daemon -reload. Messages. Okay, so at least until shipping is fine, payment ignore that, that's okay. All our approach want to do is see, and at least the approach whatever we made so far is working fine or not. Okay, so we made a public load balancer, we made a front end, it's actually pointing to the load balancer. At least one component catalog comes also is fine for me, right? So then I'll go back and so correct my automation completely proper with Ansible. I'll come back to so here, and I will do it once again. Okay, so just to test this, what I wanted to do is I want to go with the load balancer. I'll go with the load balancer here, and I'll go with the public load balancer, and I'll hit the public load balancer now. So let's see. So public load balancer, this is the public load balancer. So hit it on the browser. So we are expecting a this one, but you're not getting categories. Why are you not getting categories? We don't know. So we should start troubleshooting it. Okay, so first place I'm going to look here is the front end. So why actually my catalog is not coming? So I'll take a look on the go to the front end and just take this server, and okay, so tail-f/var log Nginx and then access.log file. What it is telling is so anywhere it is hitting catalog. Let me refresh once again. So it came to the instance API user is fine, API categories. So categories you are getting 499. 499 is an error. Okay, so what is a 499 error? What is a 499 error and why are we getting it? Okay, so we need to find it out. Okay, so to identify this, I just want to go and or let's say cat/etc nginx and then default.d and then roboshark.conf file. It's actually giving a proxy pass and a catalog-dev.iosp53.tk. So now I will just go and say that call this one. Are you getting it? No. Okay, so /health, at least I want to so check the things. It's not really working. No. Okay, why? And I'll just go for ns lookup and I'll just give this. So the DNS is working fine. And I think it's only the telnet is not working fine. So I will just go and say that put this browser at port 80. It's really not working. So why it is not working? Go to the UI and find out the load balancer. So basically go to the load balancer and go to the listeners of your private one, go to the rules, and your rules all okay. Click on catalog dev sg or tg. You go to the targets. Is your targets healthy? No, those are unhealthy. So catalog is actually giving a kind of unhealthy message. Why it is giving unhealthy message? I'm putting /health. Yeah, I think 8080 port it is not able to reach or something like that. Okay, so let me find it out. So whether 8080 port is open. Okay, so I'll go back to instances. Let's see. So this is running fine, and if I just go and give this one, so let's say telnet, this one 8080, yeah, this port is not opened. This port is not open. So the security groups of our Terraform is not really working as expected. So I will just go to an auto-scaling group. So where this auto-scaling group is creating the list of instances and attaching the security group. So allow component, you are actually opening only the 80 port. Sorry, 22 port and 80 port. You're not putting you're not keeping the actual port. Okay, so the actual port which is coming up as port. Okay, so I have to update this var.port. var.port and var.port. All right, so this is what I have. So for time being, I can do it manually. So I'll just go to the instances security group and I will say go to the security groups, and I will just say that edit inbound rules, and so just this much is fine. Add rule and which is 8080, and then this save rules, and the same apply to other security groups as well. Front-end dev requires 80 port only, which is fine. So shipping requires edit inbound rules, which is 8080, and then this save rules, and then cart edit inbound rules, add rule 80 save rules. Payment is necessarily not needed because we didn't make the component also ready. But yeah, so all right, done. Okay, done. Now I'll just go and to look into the target groups. It should be coming to healthy. Yeah. All right. So now that means my Nginx log should be working as expected. So I'll just go here and go here and try to refresh. So at least still I'm not getting the categories. And why I'm not getting the categories? Let's see. You didn't got any response. So catalog is still giving the 499. Okay, so still what is the problem now? So you give this call, it's still not working, and so telnet this one port 80 is not working. Okay, so telnet to this catalog-dev also is not working to the port 80. So that means it's a load balancer. I'll go to the load balancers. I'll go to the private ALB. I'll go to the Security group, I'm not sure in the security group what I kept it, why it's not working. So inbound rules, what I told is 192.168.0.0.24, so it should accept my 80 port. Okay, so which I have given this, and I am inside, but still it is not working. Why? Go to the load balancers. It's a private load balancer, and I will take this telnet, and the 80 port is really not working. So listeners, and the listener is on the 80 port only. I don't see any problem, but there is some problem. Okay, so let's find it out. Inbound rules, just for time being, I would like to go and give anywhere save rules, just to identify whether there is an issue with the security group. And this is a private load balancer. No, okay, this is not working. So what I'll do is I'll just go and give I will just go and give listeners, and I will just delete this for now, and I'll go for the add listener, and I'll say that it's a 80 port, and just give a fixed response, and I'll just say okay, and add listener. Okay, so manually I give the add listener option. Hey, so this also I made the internet facing load balancer. This bad. Let me delete this. Okay, I deleted the load balancer. I will just go and update my configuration of the code. So because that is a private load balancer sitting in the public subnet, it will never work. Okay, so what I will do is I will go to the load balancer and a private subnet, a private subnet and a private load balancer. Internal is not false, internal is true. Okay, it was resolving on the public IP address, but actually it is sitting on the private subnet. It will never work. Okay, so since it is internal, I have to make it internal because it's also a private subnet. You're sitting in private subnets, getting the public load balancer, it will never work, no use. Okay, so because it goes with internet gateway, not the NAT gateway. Sorry, it goes with NAT gateway, not the internet gateway. All right, now I'll just go with running this one time. ALBs, let's run the ALB once again. Okay, cool. So now actually, if you try to look into that, we'll go with the load balancers. So the private load balancer internal is true. Okay, so that means if I just take the DNS record and just do telnet this one and 80, perfect, it works as expected. Now I just need to update each and every component. So because those need to update the DNS records. Oh, it's always same. No, it's the name is changed. All right, so I will just go to the components. Like my catalog, create a release, create it. So this will update the DNS record, or else you want to do it manually also, it's okay. So cart, catalog, payment, shipping, user, and just click on, you don't have option to edit directly, right? Okay, let catalog run. Yeah, so let's run the components because it need to create a rule also in the load balancer. So that's where shipping, create a release, AMI is not needed, dev, just dev, apply, and user, create a release, and cart, Okay, so the user is pending. All right, user is also done. Now let's go and try to verify now. So try to refresh. Let's see, are we getting it or not? Still not getting. So let's go and ask why it is still not coming. So tail -f. So it is telling that categories is still giving this one. So I'll just go and give systemctl restart in Nginx because it's actually pointing to the catalog -dev and all is still pointing to the old records might be. So now there is an error also because of the DNS issue. So systemctl status in Nginx. Yeah. So it's actually telling that so upstream payment -dev dot DevOps b53.tk, so is not found. All right. So payment also, I'll just click on create a release. Let it run for now. Okay, it ran. So just go with the restart in Nginx. It's not working out. Why? Was not found. And let's look up of this one. Okay, doesn't really matter. So echo, or you just go and give this DNS record ns lookup of this one, and so echo this IP address with this particular DNS name to /etc/ host file, just to make it faster. That's it. Okay, so systemctl restart Nginx, which is fine, and tail -f/var log Nginx, and then access.log finally. So just quickly go and try to refresh. So now you're getting the list of components. Perfect, right? So at least to an approach, whatever the architecture design we took is working fine. But beneath the scene, so our automation is not really that great, okay, because of the shell scripting and its limitations. And or else it's not limitation, I would say. I didn't enhance the code in such a way that it work for any environment, okay, but I want to make it work for any other environments, okay. And so it should work with all the scenarios, but I don't want to go with the shell scripting because there's another tool which is so which is in place, so which I want to go with is Ansible, and with Ansible I want to make everything and make it work. Okay, so that's the approach I want to take it. Okay, that's where from the next session we'll start with Ansible, and we'll so we will complete Ansible and we'll build up our project with Ansible, and we'll come back to the Terraform. So same approach, come back with the Terraform. Currently the Terraform, so we are making the AMI with the help of we're making the AMI with the help of shell commands, and you're running this one. Now we'll run the Ansible, and we'll ensure that it works with all the scenarios. Okay, so that's the simple idea, and that's where we are going to lead it. That's all from my side for today. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? Okay, all right. If no questions, we'll meet back on the next session, which is would be on the Monday as planned. Okay, so since it's a long weekend, and so yeah, and I wish you a very happy New Year in advance. Okay, so yeah, thank you, and see you on next year. Bye. Good day. Good night.